Hi, this is Tom. My voice cracked. Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Meaghan with Believe in the Run.
And you're watching Between Two Shoes. We're talking about one of the most popular shoes that we probably hear about. And then when we posted this other shoe, people were like, how's it compare to that shoe?
We're talking about a lot of speed today. Magic
speed,
endorphin speed, all the speed.
Yeah. This is the new contender, the Magic Speed 3. We already talked about it. The Magic Speed 1 and 2 sucked, so there was no comparison to the Endorphin on that one.
These are two really good tempo day shoes. I don't know if we fully said what they are here, but we have the Asics Magic Speed 3 and the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3.
Now, originally they were designed for tempo day shoes, or in that category of the shoe you train in so that you don't beat up your race day shoe. It's an up-tempo, it's a faster shoe. I wouldn't necessarily call these shoes for beginners. You need to figure out what you like in a shoe before you get to these styles. I also feel like people are using these as daily trainers now.
Yeah, I think we've all become a little accustomed to having plates in our shoes, and so using these faster style shoes for daily training has become a thing. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about this Magic Speed here. You have 2 layers of Flight Foam Blast Plus and a full-length carbon fiber plate. So it's soft, but also very poppy.
Yeah, so previously, the shoe had 1 layer of Flight Foam Blast Plus and 1 layer of Flight Foam, which was a little firmer, and what that did, it really made the shoe feel pretty stiff with a plate in there, and it only had a 3/4 plate, and it wasn't all carbon. Now they've updated with the carbon, with the softer foam. You really get a really nice bounce and like a responsive feel out of the shoe. Like this one punches.
The upper is also borrowed from the Metaspeed Sky and Edge Plus, so you have that race-like fit and feel in the upper. The stack is not quite as high as those race day shoes, so it's coming in around 36 in the heel, 29 in the forefoot for a 7mm drop. And I didn't really mind it. I'm someone who loves stack and give me more all the time, but I felt like this was a really nice, like snappy, you felt like controlled, and you could pick up the pace.
Let's be honest, when we first took this shoe out of the box, you didn't even really want to try it because you're like, it doesn't look like a lot of stack. And I remember how the other one felt, and I was like, no, Meaghan, give this a shot. It actually feels really good. And it is surprising with this little stack as it has. When I say little, it's still a lot of stack. It has a very nice, comfy ride. I feel like that you can use it for a daily trainer.
Yeah, it's also extremely light. So my women's 7.5 came in at 6.6 ounces, which is, you know, whatever those are. And the big difference between this and other race shoes though is that price point. So this comes in at $160, which is very comparable to your daily trainer.
So my size 10.5 weighs 8.2 ounces. Again, that's getting pretty close to race day weight and feel. So you've got a really lightweight package, really breathable upper, soft, nice, responsive cushioning with that plate that kicks it off. Plenty of rubber coverage.
So it's gonna be pretty durable. Let's move on here and talk a little bit about this Endorphin Speed 3. You never really loved the Speed, which I don't understand. I feel like the Endorphin line is one of the best lines across any brand, anytime. So you have the Endorphin Shift, the Endorphin Speed, and then the Endorphin Pro. And I feel like they just work very well together. Now you got an Elite, that one's in a category of its own, I think. But
I do think they work well together. I think what I never got out of the Speed that I wanted is it did feel like a daily trainer. It felt like a really good daily trainer. I never got the magic from it. Like people were always like, oh, it's so great. It feels so good. It feels light on the foot.
So unlike the Magic Speed, which uses a foam not found in race day shoes, the Endorphin Speed uses the same foam they're using in the Pro, which is the Power Run PB. So it's a very light, very bouncy foam, but instead of the carbon fiber plate, you have a nylon plate here. That's where sort of the difference is between this shoe versus the Pro, which is that race day fit.
And I guess that's where the problem is for me with the Endorphin line, is that the Pro and the Speed are close enough, but then when I put on the Pro, I feel like, oh, this feels really good, and then you put this on, and it's like a downgraded experience from the Pro.
Yeah, well, I think that's the whole point, is that you train in something like this and then you lace up the Pro and you feel great for race day.
I get it.
But so this is also very similar to the Magic Speed, where there is 36mm in the heel, 28 in the forefoot, so 8mm drop. It's bouncy, it's light, it's fun to run in. I think it's that really great shoe for fast days that's not race day.
You might already be guessing where I'm going with my pick. I like this shoe. I think it's nice. I think it's really good. As far as the Saucony line goes, I do agree it's one of the best Saucony shoes in the lineup. If I'm gonna pick one that's gonna be for up-tempo, fun, nice, like daily plus miles, I think I'm going Magic Speed 3.
One other last note on this is $170, so price points are also very similar, $10 difference here.
I think it comes down also, the upper doesn't feel like a racy upper.
It doesn't. So whereas I feel like the Magic Speed, I might actually want to race in this Speed really feels like your tempo day, training day shoe. It has a little bit more structure, a little bit more of that daily trainer feel on the upper, whereas this one is like race day ready. That said, I don't know.
I mean, when I put this one on, there's a sense of almost like excitement. It
Yeah.
feels light, it feels ready to roll. I want to pick up the pace in this one.
I think there's a little bit of recency bias because I think I'd also probably pick the Magic Speed 3. One, looks, aesthetics, amazing. But this Flight Foam Blast Plus is soft, but then you get the pop from the plate, and I think it's just, it works for, like we're talking about, those faster days in training, or if you want to lace it up for race day.
Yeah, what's strange to me is between these two shoes for you, there's not really a weight difference. The stack height's about the same, so
Yeah.
there's so much similarity in the shoes, but this one still doesn't weigh that much less. With the stack height being the same, you're getting that Power Run PB, which is a premium foam over something like Flight Foam Blast Plus, but it doesn't add that much to the shoe, and the weight of these shoes is the same, so I'm guessing that this upper, this more built up upper, is adding to the weight of the shoe. For me, it just didn't have that same poppy fun feel
Yeah.
that the Magic Speed 3 has.
So there you have it. Again, two really good shoes, but if we have to choose, I think I'm going Magic Speed.
All right, me too.